What could possibly intimidate a superhero? Not the fictional kind. Not the character swinging between skyscrapers. But the real-life actor behind the mask. When you think of Tom Holland, you think of global premieres, billion-dollar box office numbers, roaring crowds, and flashing cameras. You think of a young man who stepped into one of the most iconic roles in cinematic history and carried it effortlessly. Fame came fast. Success came faster. Yet in 2023, something unexpected happened. During a casual interview, Tom said something that didn't feel scripted. It didn't feel exaggerated. It wasn't playful or sarcastic. He said the Hollywood business scares him. Not bothers him. Not exhausts him. Not overwhelms him. Scares him. That word changes everything. Actors are trained carefully. Public figures know how to filter language. They avoid dramatic wording unless they intend to use it. So when someone at the absolute peak of fame chooses a word like scares, people pause. Because fear suggests something deeper than stress. It suggests experience. It suggests witnessing something that shifts your perspective. Now let's separate two things clearly, because he did. Tom didn't say acting frightens him. He didn't say performing makes him anxious. He didn't say fans overwhelm him. He said the business side of Hollywood makes him uncomfortable. That distinction matters. Acting is art. The business is power. There's a difference. By 20 years old, Tom wasn't just another young actor trying to find auditions. He was introduced into the highest levels of global entertainment through Spider-Man: Homecoming, part of the massive Marvel Cinematic Universe. That role didn't just give him fame. It gave him access. Private industry gatherings. Closed-door meetings. Studio negotiations. Elite networking events. He wasn't observing Hollywood from a distance. He was inside it. And 8 years inside any powerful system is long enough to see how it operates. Long enough to recognize patterns. Long enough to understand who holds influence. So when someone like that begins publicly talking about stepping away, it raises questions. Because people at the top rarely walk away at their peak. They expand. They leverage. They capitalize. But Tom started doing the opposite. He began reducing appearances. Skipping unnecessary red carpets. Declining events he didn't need to attend. Pulling back from constant visibility. That's unusual for someone whose career momentum was still rising. And then he said something else. He talked about watching people around him lose themselves to the industry. That phrase carries weight. Losing yourself isn't about ego. It's not about becoming arrogant. It's about identity erosion. It's about slowly transforming into someone shaped entirely by pressure, expectations, and power structures. Hollywood doesn't just create celebrities. It creates brands. It creates images. It creates personas. And sometimes those personas replace the person. When Tom said he saw people lose themselves, it didn't sound like gossip. It sounded reflective. Like someone who had seen what happens when ambition meets influence without boundaries. And that's when the pattern begins forming, because fear plus withdrawal plus observation equals something deeper than burnout. It suggests caution. And caution doesn't come from imagination. It comes from experience. Let's look at timing. Tom's rise began in 2016. By 2019, the entertainment world was shaken by major public scandals involving powerful figures. Conversations about hidden systems, influence networks, and accountability intensified globally. Whether directly connected or not, anyone inside that environment would have felt the shift. Trust in the industry changed. Public perception changed. Internal dynamics changed. Between 2019 and 2023, something inside Tom clearly evolved. In interviews, he began emphasizing mental health. He stepped away from social media, describing it as overwhelming and overstimulating. He admitted that constant feedback loops, comments, criticism, speculation, affected him more than he expected. That's human. But again, look deeper. Social media isn't just about attention. It's about exposure. It's about constant visibility. And stepping away from visibility is often the first move toward reclaiming control. He spoke openly about wanting to learn ordinary life skills, paying bills, managing a household, understanding daily responsibilities most people take for granted. On the surface, that sounds simple, but symbolically, it represents grounding. Reconnecting with normalcy. Detaching from an artificial ecosystem. Then came one of his most telling statements. He said that when he has children, he plans to disappear. Not reduce work. Not limit appearances. Disappear. That word implies intentional invisibility. Why would someone at the height of global recognition want to become invisible? One answer is maturity, but symbolically, it represents grounding. Reconnecting with normalcy. Detaching from an artificial ecosystem. Then came one of his most telling statements. He said that when he has children, he plans to disappear. Not reduce work. Not limit appearances. Disappear. That word implies intentional invisibility. Why would someone at the height of global recognition want to become invisible? One answer is maturity. Another is protection. Because fame isn't just opportunity. It's vulnerability. Now add another layer. His partner, Zendaya, has also spoken about protecting future children from public scrutiny. She grew up inside the industry. She understands its pressures intimately. When two individuals deeply embedded in Hollywood both speak about stepping back, limiting exposure, and shielding family from spotlight, it suggests shared awareness. Not conspiracy. Awareness. There's something about proximity to power that changes perspective. You either chase it endlessly, or you learn that distance can be safer. Throughout entertainment history, individuals who publicly attacked powerful systems often faced backlash. Careers stalled. Reputations questioned. Narratives shifted against them. Tom didn't take that route. He didn't accuse anyone. He didn't expose anything. He simply minimized involvement. It's strategic. If you attack a machine, it defends itself. If you quietly step away, there's nothing to attack. You can't punish someone for choosing privacy. You can't blacklist someone for prioritizing family. You can't publicly retaliate against someone who hasn't made accusations. It's an elegant exit strategy. And that elegance is what makes it interesting. Years from now, people may analyze these interviews differently. They may see a young man overwhelmed by fame. Or they may see someone who recognized how systems operate and chose distance over dominance. The truth is likely less dramatic and more psychological. Fame changes people. Power environments change people. Being surrounded by influence at 20 years old changes people. Perhaps Tom simply matured faster than most. Perhaps he saw how quickly public admiration can shift. Perhaps he witnessed behaviors that made him uncomfortable. Or perhaps he realized something fundamental. The safest position in any powerful system is not always at its center. Sometimes it's at the edge, with the freedom to walk away. Walking away from unlimited expansion is rare. Especially in industries built on visibility. Most actors build brands. Tom scaled back. Most celebrities increase endorsements. He minimized exposure. Most stars crave influence. He spoke about disappearance. That's not typical career strategy. It's psychological repositioning. And maybe that's the real story. Not scandal. Not secret knowledge. Not hidden accusations. But awareness. Awareness that identity matters more than image. Awareness that family might matter more than fame. Awareness that losing yourself is easier than you think when millions of people are watching. Between 2019 and 2023, something shifted in him. He may never know exactly what. And maybe we don't need to. Because the most powerful statement he made wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. He said the business scares him. And instead of challenging it, he adjusted himself. That's not weakness. That's self-preservation. So now the real question isn't whether something dark exists beneath the surface. The real question is this. If you were given unlimited access to power, influence, wealth, and recognition at 20 years old, and you later chose to step back, would that mean you were afraid? Or would it mean you finally understood the cost? Because sometimes the strongest move isn't climbing higher. It's knowing exactly when to step away before the system decides who you become. And maybe that's what we're really watching. Not a superstar retreating, but a young man choosing himself before the spotlight defines him forever.